I used to be President Trump's bodyguard. Ask me anything. Do aliens exist? Officially, no. Off the record, I once accompanied him on a very private trip to Nevada. It wasn't Area 51, but it was close. I don't know what was discussed in that meeting, but I do know he was completely silent for the entire flight back. That's not like him. What does he actually eat? Is it true about the burgers? Oh, it's true. Burgers are not a meme. It's real life. He could eat 2 in a row, skip the bun, triple the sauces, always with Diet Coke, even when eating bacon cheeseburgers and fries. And he seriously hates salads. What kind of movies does he watch? 80s classics. He loves The Godfather, but his favorite is Rocky III. He'd watch it before big speeches. One time, he watched it 3 times in one night. Said it fired him up. Does he have any weird habits? Yes. He loves reaction tests. Out of nowhere, he might ask, "How many steps to the exit?" Or, "Who stood behind me 5 minutes ago?" He checks if you're sharp. Sometimes, he'll drop a napkin just to see who picks it up. Does he have a sense of humor? Sharp, dark, and unexpected. One time in a briefing, he joked, "If I get shot, at least close my eyes first, okay?" And laughed before anyone else did. Took the rest of the room 5 seconds to realize he wasn't testing us. Have you ever seen him uncertain? Yes, but he hides it perfectly. The only giveaway? He starts asking the same question over and over in different ways. It means he's processing. Fear, for him, is internal. Did he ever have secret meetings? Plenty. Some happened in a bunker under the residence. We only knew the entry point, never the guest list. I once saw him come back holding a folder with no markings and a scratch on his hand. No one asked. Have you ever been to Area 51? No, but I drove him to meet a man who had access, one of the few. They spoke one-on-one for exactly 43 minutes. Trump canceled all meetings for the next 3 days. No TV, no public appearances. Is it true he barely sleeps? Absolutely true. 3 to 4 hours a night, tops. The rest of the time, he's either working or pacing. Endless energy. One night, he woke up the entire team at 2:40 a.m. just because he wanted to review the security camera angles. Have you ever seen him cry? No, but I did see him listen to a certain recording. I can't say what, and sit completely still with his eyes closed for over a minute. Then he said, "No one should ever hear that," and that was it. I used to be President Trump's bodyguard. Ask me anything. Part 2. You keep asking, and honestly, I get it. Too many rumors, too little truth. Here's more of what they don't show on the news. Does he have phobias? Yes. He has a real discomfort with staircases that have no handrails. Not just dislike, a kind of automatic tension. Also, he doesn't like people in white coats standing behind him. Says it reminds him of cold childhood corridors. Never explained it more than that. Did he have body doubles? Officially, no. But once at a closed event with only loyal staff, someone walked out looking exactly like him. Then the real Trump appeared minutes later and said, "So, how's my clone?" Everyone laughed. No one was sure if it was a joke. Is he afraid of dying? Not in the usual way. He's afraid of being forgotten, of being small in history. He's obsessed with legacy. Sometimes it felt like he was acting in his own future biopic. Does he have enemies? Secret ones? Not enemies. He keeps lists. People he doesn't forget. One time, I saw him rereading an old article written about him 20 years before the presidency. He nodded slowly, like memorizing the author's name. Did he get cosmetic surgery? I can't confirm, but I know that during trips, he always had a personal doctor separate from the official staff. After one such visit, he didn't appear in public for 2 days. When he did, he looked a little too refreshed. Did he ever consider quitting? Yes. Once, after a particularly brutal meeting, he said, "Why did I even get into this game?" But an hour later, he was back on stage like it never happened. He has an internal switch. Emotions go off. Fight mode goes on. What music does he listen to? Elvis Presley, no joke. Also, Frank Sinatra. But once I heard him put on Eminem, Lose Yourself, while preparing for a rally. He even nodded along to the beat. Did he ever joke about world leaders? Darkly. After one high-level meeting, he said, "That guy smiled like he ordered a hit on me while we were shaking hands." Then he laughed. Everyone else, not so much. Have you ever seen him do something kind when no one was watching? Yes. Once, he asked a security guy, "How long have you been standing there?" Then ordered his early shift change and had someone bring him coffee. No cameras, no staff, just real decency. Rare, but real. Has he ever completely lost control? Yes, once. After someone betrayed him, someone close. He shattered a glass against the wall and stood there in silence. Then walked out and gave a flawless press conference. Steel man, not made of iron. What does Trump do when he's really angry? He doesn't yell. That's a myth. He goes quiet, dangerously quiet. He starts spinning a pen in his hands. One time, he crushed a metal pen, snapped it clean. Everyone around him froze. No one moved. That silence was louder than any scream. Did he ever talk about the future? All the time. He'd say, 30 years from now, kids will read about me in textbooks. He didn't want to be remembered as a man, but as an era. It wasn't just ego. It was closer to a philosophy. Does he have weaknesses? Yes. He fears being seen as weak. He hates hearing doubt out loud. Once, someone said in a meeting, "What if this doesn't work?" Trump stood up and left. Never came back. Did he have favorites among his security? Definitely. He liked the ones who spoke little but saw everything. Once he said, "If my bodyguard talks more than he watches, he's not my bodyguard." Did he have favorites among his security? All the time. Once he said in a meeting, "What if this doesn't work?" Trump stood up and left. Never came back. Did he have weaknesses? Yes. He fears being seen as weak. He hates. Is he afraid of crowds? Not at all. He feeds on them. Once we passed a spontaneous rally. He made the motorcade stop and walked out alone. No speech planned, no notes. It was chaotic, and he was glowing. What does he do when he's alone? Few people know, but I've seen him turn off all the lights in a room, put on old music, and sit there. No phone, no papers, just sound. That quiet side of him. It's real. What doesn't he forgive? Mockery. If you laugh at him, you're on the list. Doesn't matter if you're staff or a senator. He might forgive a hit, but never a smirk behind his back. Does he have friends? Very few. Trust to him is a luxury. He once told me, a real friend is someone who stays silent when you screw up. Is he afraid of aging? He's afraid of stopping. Afraid of waking up one day with nothing left to fight for. That's why he works like every day is the last round. What does he think of the media? He despises weak journalists, but he admires strong ones, even if they're against him. He once said, "Bad press is oxygen, but cowardice is poison." He'll bash reporters on camera and read every one of their articles later. Does he believe in fate? No. He believes in himself. He says fate is an excuse for people who don't know how to make decisions. He might say it was meant to be, but inside, he thinks, I made it happen. Why are you telling all of this now? Because after years of standing next to this man, you stop seeing the politics. You start seeing the person. And at some point, someone else needs to see it too. This video is for entertainment purposes only. All described events and facts were collected from publicly available sources on the internet. We are not responsible for how viewers interpret this information.